The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication. Podcast publishing made easy. Libsyn.com. That's Libsyn.com.
Started your Christmas shopping yet? Worried about where the money's coming from? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. You were seated around a green felt table with a dozen desperate men, waiting for the turn of a card. If it's the ace of spades, you will be next. And you desperately desire the impossible. Escape.
Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and carefully plotted to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escape to London of the last century. A London of gas lights and hansom cabs. A London where a gentleman still valued his word of honor above his life. A London of which one terrifying incident is recorded by Robert Louis Stevenson in his unforgettable story, The Young Man with the Cream Tart.
City seems to offer little amusement tonight. Well, bottoms up. Let's be on our way. Righto. Your health. And yours.
Please have a cream tart. Absolutely my compliments. Caddy, will you honor me? Where would you honor me?
Well, now, what's this?
A young man with a tray of cream tarts. He's giving them away.
Well, perhaps one of the terms on the bill.
Perhaps. Shall we go?
Yes, let's.
I pray you accept this confection, for if you do not, I'm bound to eat it myself. You must be crazy. There's never more shame. You refuse? I do. And there's nothing for it but my 27th tart since 5 o'clock. Now there are but two left. You, sir.
Yes?
Will you so far honor an entire stranger? It's really excellent pastry. I should know. I've eaten enough of them.
It is not the nature of a gift that is important, but the spirit in which it is offered.
The spirit, sir, is one of mockery.
Mockery? And whom do you mock?
Myself. However, my purpose at the moment is not confession, but rather distribution of these cream tarts. Won't you and your friend dispose of the last dozen?
Yes. Yes, on one condition. If my friend and I eat your last two cakes, we shall expect you to join us at supper.
Supper? It's a horrible thought. I've already eaten 2 dozen of these pastries.
Very well, then we shall omit supper and become better acquainted over a bottle of wine.
I'm uncertain whether my repugnance for these 2 remaining tarts or the attraction of your invitation compels me, but I accept.
Excellent. Then let us finish off your pastry and seek a more quiet place.
How about Michelle's in Soho?
Splendid. Shall we go?
An excellent restaurant, excellent wine, and 2 excellent friends. I drink to your health.
And we drink to yours. I'm sure you will understand my curiosity.
But you are curious.
Naturally. Although I suspect that your story is probably a silly one.
Oh, indeed.
You may rest assured that we are 2 of the silliest men in England. My name is Goodall, Theophilus Goodall, and my friend here is Major Alfred Hammersmith.
I like you, Mr. Goodall. And you, Major Hammersmith, though I suspect those are not your right names.
It is of no importance.
Exactly, nor is my name, so I will not divulge it. Although I see no reason why I should deny you my story. It's brief and foolish.
Pray tell us then.
It's an oft-told tale. A modest fortune which I squandered in the usual ways at cards, the horse races in Paris. Then 2 months ago I met a young lady exactly suited to my taste in mind and body. My heart melted. I was in love too late. Yesterday my solicitor warned me that I had but £100 left in the world. 40 of these I used last night for a special purpose, and I have agreeably spent the day disposing of the remaining £60 in as foolish a manner as I could devise.
And the future?
The future has been taken care of by the £40.
Is it not odd that we 3 should have met by the merest accident in so large a wilderness as London and be so nearly in the same condition?
Yes.
Major Hammersmith, I was thinking the very same thing.
What's this? Are you two also ruined? Is this bottle of excellent wine the last folly, like my cream tarts?
Very nearly so. I'm perhaps a week behind you. I still have a few banknotes in my wallet, however. Here now, this bill will take care of the bottle of wine. And the others I throw into the fire.
Oh, no. You shouldn't have burned all of them. You should have kept 40 pounds.
40 pounds? Why? Why not 50 or 70? For to my certain knowledge, there were more than 100 in his wallet.
It's only just 40 pounds he needed. But without them, there is no admission. The rule is strict.
What do you mean? I have not yet completely emptied my pocketbook.
You are not fooling me. You are indeed ruined men, like me.
Oh, indeed.
Could you muster 80 pounds between you?
Well, let me look in my wallet. Yes, 80 and a little over.
Then you're indeed most fortunate. 40 pounds each is the initiation fee of the Suicide Club.
The Suicide Club? What the devil is that?
The Suicide Club is death's private door. It's the ultimate convenience in our modern world. It exists for unfortunates like us. Those to whom the painful agony of corrosive poison is distasteful. For those whose courage fails them when the cold muzzle chills the forehead. For those whose fear of drowning is greater than their compulsion to die. For these sensitive misfits, the Suicide Club ranges every detail. If you're truly tired of life, I will introduce you tonight to a meeting, and I can assure you that within the week you will be relieved of the burden of living. What do you say? It's more serious than a cream tart, and I suspect more palatable.
More serious, certainly. So I wonder if you would give Mr. Goodall and me 5 minutes alone to discuss it.
Certainly. I shall wait outside.
Your Highness, this adventure must stop here. Nonsense, Colonel Geraldine. I propose to see this through. See it through to what? Death? You forget your obligations, not only to yourself, but to your country. Prince Florizel of Bohemia cannot risk... Tonight I am plain Mr. Godard, and so I propose to remain. And please remember, Colonel Geraldine, under no circumstances are you to betray my incognito. But, Your Highness... We have survived graver adventures than this one promises to be. And now, Colonel Geraldine, let us pay our bill and accompany our young wastrel to death's private door.
Here you are, Governor. Box court.
Gentlemen, we have arrived.
Here you are, cabby. Keep the change.
Oh, thank you, sir. Come on.
Well, Mr. Godard, Major Hammersmith, there is still time to change your mind.
Lead on, sir. My mind's made up.
And mine.
Follow me, then.
As dark as a tomb. An apt and concise simile.
Here we are, gentlemen, at death's private door. Shall we enter?
Pray, let's.
You may hang your things in here. If you'll be good enough to wait, I shall call the president.
Of all our follies, this is the wildest and most dangerous. I'm beginning to believe you're right. Let me beseech your Highness... Do not forget you are my aide-de-camp. Not your father. Yet I am responsible to the king for your well-being. Colonel Geraldine, you're not afraid. Certainly not for myself, but for your Highness.
The president will be in his office. I have vouched for you, but you must give him honest answers. The indiscretion of a single member might lead to dispersion into society forever.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
Waiting for you.
Good evening. I am told that you wish to speak to me. We have a desire, sir, to join
This is the legend of a man and a horse,
Sir, you've made a
and
mistake.
how they met.
This is a
The
private
story
house.
of the Lone
Leave it
Ranger
instantly.
and his
We have
great
come here
horse,
upon the
Silver.
invitation of a friend of yours. He's already told you of our desires. Believe me, sir,
When one has come this far
The
along
Lone
the path, one is
Ranger
not
and
likely to
Tonto
be
were
turned away
clinging
and
the worst
certainly will
outlaw in
tolerate
the
little
West.
rudeness.
His name was Butch Cavendish.
Permit me
They
to
had
assure
followed
you,
his trail for many weeks.
either you will oblige
until
us in the
finally,
matter,
they noticed
or
that
you'll
the
regret
hoofprints
ever
of the
having
outlaw's
admitted us
horse
to the
were
premises.
fresh.
We're close to Cavendish
Well,
now.
that's more like it.
Tonto. He can't be
No
far
place
ahead.
for men not
Him
yet
outrun
desperate.
us last time.
I believe you,
Maybe better
sir.
we shoot in sight.
But what of your friend?
I want to take
My
him
reasons are even
alive.
more cogent than Mr. Goodall.
Look out.
Steady there, steady, boy.
I was
Over there.
cashiered out of my
Killer in
regiment
ambush
last
him
week.
right way.
Why?
Tonto, he missed me, but he shot my horse.
card.
Get after him.
Get him
I
up,
see.
fella.
And you, sir?
Tonto's horse was tired
your
and no
reason
match
for
in
being
speed for the animal
tired,
Cavendish rode. The outlaw
Unadulterated
escaped.
laziness. Don't trifle with
When
me,
Tonto
sir.
returned from the
You
futile
must have a
chase,
better reason than that.
he
I
found
have
the
no
Lone
more
Ranger
money,
standing
and I
beside
must
his
be
dead
late to
horse.
come by
A
it.
good horse, Tonto. Loyal, faithful, and brave.
If
But
I
my
did not
next
have a great
horse
deal of
must be
experience
faster.
in these matters, I would
I
turn
wish
you
that-
down.
Tonto,
But I have learned
we've
that
heard
the most
stories of a
frivolous
wild
excuses
horse,
for
a fiery white
suicide
stallion.
often cover a
Him
deep and
seen your
lifelong
valley
desire
over
for
there,
self-destruction.
where Cavendish
Thank you for your
We'll be on the
understanding,
lookout
sir.
for the
Very
wild
well.
horse while we follow
Business.
Cavendish.
I shall read you the oath of membership, if you will subscribe. I swear to obey without question the instructions of the president of this association.
Tonto's horse carried the
Or
Lone
any of his
Ranger's
appointed
saddle,
deputies.
his saddlebags, and bridle,
Realizing
while
that
the masked
desirable
man and the
steps
Indian
could
continued
scarcely be
on
a
foot along
penalty
the
for
outlaw's
violating
trail.
this oath,
When they reached
I
the
am
top of
aware
the
that any
hill,
violation
Tonto.
will be met at the
they halted
discretion of the
suddenly
president
and
by
stared
those
at an
means deemed
awe-inspiring
suitable by him.
sight far down in the valley.
Namely, excommunication from
They
the
saw a
church,
great white stallion in a
loss
death
of
fight
whatever
with a
honor
giant
still
buffalo.
attaches to my
The
name,
horse was plunging, rearing,
and,
charging, and
when
dodging
necessary,
wildly.
violent
And the
reprisals
sun flashed
against
from
my
his
bereaved
coat
family.
as from a coat of polished silver.
In full knowledge
They
of the
realized that
sacredness
this
of
was the
this oath,
legendary
I should
white
describe my
stallion,
name.
the one ranchers and hunters had talked so much
gentlemen,
about.
Tonto, we must
You
have
are
that
in
horse.
position to
I'll try to
enforce
shoot the
this.
buffalo.
It's too far for
I
pistol
am.
shot.
I'll get closer before it's too late.
Hand me the pen.
As he ran downhill, the Lone Ranger watched the battle. The sleek white stallion was nimble and courageous, but his strength began to wane. The buffalo charged again and again. The splendid muscles of the white horse were slower in
That will be
responding,
40
then
pounds
too
each.
slow. He was caught
Here
by
you
the
are.
buffalo's charge.
Thank you.
Wet crimson stained his pure
Now,
white
would you like
coat.
to join the
Another
members of the
charge.
smoking room?
The white
Indeed,
horse
we
saw it
would.
coming and he couldn't
Question.
dodge. He staggered and fell. The monster drew back and lowered his
Just
head
make
for the
yourself
death
at home.
charge.
Everyone's
And
quite
then
informal
two
here.
shots rang out.
If you'll pardon me, I have some other matters.
The buffalo shuddered from
Come
the
along,
impact
Major.
of the masked
Let's
man's
mingle with the
bullets.
company.
For an instant, he stood motionless,
Got in all right, I
then
see.
fell.
Naturally.
Never breath.
Until we can.
Careful being suspended. Perhaps you could.
No, not immediately, thank you. I should like just to wander around and listen to the conversation.
You'll find it most revealing.
She had always stood in the way of anything I wanted to do. And I don't care if she was my mother. She cost me one time too often.
You may be sure that I would never have joined
Only
this wretched
battered
club
and
if I had
bruised,
not
the
read
white
the origins
stallion lay
of species
quietly
by
as the
Darwin.
Lone Ranger
I could not
bathed
bear
his
to be
wounds.
descended from an ape.
During the next
Certainly,
several
I
days, the masked man and the
Some men
Indian
who
cared
cannot
for the
abide
injured
the
horse.
restrictions of the monastery.
Then the wounds were
And after
closed,
the abbot
and the
discovered
horse's
me,
strength had
there was
returned.
nothing I could do.
There was
I
once more
comprehensible
fire in his
response.
eye, a spring in his step,
Talk this
and
boast
his
of
head was lifted
self-justification.
proudly.
The man has made up his mind
Otto,
to kill himself. Let
he's
him do it like a
himself
gentleman. Be done with the matter.
Him plenty
As
strong.
I told you, there are some
Pretty
of us
good
more
horse.
frightened of the
I
act
wonder if you'll take
than
a
of the
saddle.
result.
Let's
There's
try.
only one man in this room who does
there.
not seem to be
Steady,
in
boy.
favor of staying.
Who is it?
Go down.
Me
By the
get
gentleman
rope.
sitting under
Him
the
run
van.
away.
No,
Oh,
Tonto,
yes.
wait.
Yes, Mr.
Let him
Mark.
go.
Would you
I'd
like
like
to meet
to have that
Yes,
horse
please.
more than anything
Because
in the
it's not too
world.
obvious.
But he
There's
deserves
nothing
his
very
freedom.
special about
He
Mr.
fought for
Malton.
it.
He looks like death himself, wearing thick eyeglasses.
turned to look at us.
Let us discover for
See
ourselves
how
the
the
reason
sun
for his
reflects from his
relaxation.
white coat.
Mr. Mark. I should like
He
to
looked
present
like
two
silver.
new members, Mr. Goodall and make a
Be a name
Hammersmith.
for him.
How do you do?
Silver!
How do you do, Mr. Pleasure?
Look at him.
Won't you sit
Silver!
down?
Hey, Silver!
Newcomers, newcomers. I
Otto,
envy you the
he's
novelty
coming
of
back.
your first visit.
Just as if he knew what I said.
You will learn to relish it if you are
Silver!
Why, dear sir,
Silver,
this
you
club,
beauty.
gentlemen, is the
Hand me the
temple
halter,
of
Tonto.
intoxication. My health
As the mighty stallion felt the halter, he trembled as if from a chill. Every instinct told him that he must flee at once to preserve his freedom.
Believe me,
And yet
sir,
he stood his
I
ground.
tried them all.
It wasn't gratitude that kept him there. It was something stronger, some mysterious bond of friendship and understanding. He heard the man's voice, and he liked it.
Silver.
Here is the strongest
Silver.
passion. It is
We're
fair
going to be
if you must
partners.
trifle with it you wish to take. The
He will let you use halter. Now, Toto, the
End
saddle.
No horse like that. Take saddle.
There never was a horse
How
like
is
this.
the excitement so
Now, Silver,
artfully
we're
prolonged?
going to work together.
The horse was wild and unused to the ways of men and the weight of a saddle and a rider. But the masked man was a kind teacher. He was gentle yet firm, and Silver was intelligent.
Great heavens.
The stallion
mean
seemed
they
to
kill
sense
each
the
other?
desires of the Lone Ranger and did his best to cooperate. He learned quickly, and after several days of training, he was ready.
Selected the
Follow me,
season to
Toto.
murder another.
I'm going after Cavendish.
But how to escape the attentions of the law?
The ingenuity of our president knows
No hoofs had
limit.
ever beat the plains like those thundering hoofs of the great horse Silver. During the past few days, Cavendish had gotten far away, but the masked man and Tonto trailed him relentlessly with only a minimum of rest.
But
It took
Mr.
days
Malthus,
to cut down the
I'm
outlaw's
sure
lead,
the dog is the
but at
house
long
member
last,
selected.
Cavendish came into view.
There he is. Come on, Silver.
The mighty stallion responded with a new burst of speed.
Now the play is about
Cavendish fired wild shots over his shoulder until his gun was empty. His horse, though powerful and fast, was no match for the charging Silver. Fear and panic filled the outlaw's face. He heard the hoofbeats ever nearer, and then the masked man shout,
I want you, Cavendish.
The masked man's avowed mission was accomplished. The last of the Cavendish gang was captured to be tried by law and punished for his crimes. There were many others whose criminal plans were to be challenged by the Lone Ranger, his faithful Indian companion Tonto, and his great horse Silver.
The president deals with ordinary death paying cards. Each man turns up his cards. The ace of spades, card of death. The ace of clubs designates the official of the night.
The murderer.
If you like. Aha. Here, 3 chairs together. Happy, happy young men. You have good eyes and can follow the cards. I only make out the faces.
Is everyone here?
My friend, we still have a fighting chance to escape. Quiet. Let us play the game.
Attention, gentlemen.
3 of clubs. Jack of hearts.
10 of diamonds.
King of clubs.
Queen of hearts.
3 of spades. 9 of clubs.
6 of spades.
Oh, no!
It's our young man of the cream tart.
He's drawn the ace of clubs.
I came here to be killed, not to kill. I wasn't
Gentlemen.
not murdered.
I must caution the members against such unseemly outbursts.
I don't want
Since the ace of spades has not yet turned up, I will continue the deal.
Ace of hearts. 7 of clubs.
King of diamonds.
Jack of spades.
Ace of 8.
Mr. Malthus.
That concludes the play for the night, gentlemen. Will the member who drew the ace of clubs come to my office for his instructions?
Did your highness ring?
Yes. Good morning, Roderick.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, I shall have my breakfast in bed this morning.
Yes, your highness. And Colonel Geraldine has been waiting for you to awaken.
Oh, very well. Show him in.
Thank you, your highness. Colonel, his highness will see you now.
Good morning, Geraldine. Sleep well?
Not too well.
Did I dream it, or were we initiated into the suicide club last night? Seems like a nightmare.
It was a nightmare, but you didn't dream it. Here, look at this. The morning paper.
Huh? Melancholy accident. This morning, about 2 o'clock, Mr. Bartholomew Malthus of 16 Chepstow Place, Westbourne Grove, on his way home from a party at a friend's house, fell off the upper parapet in Trafalgar Square, fracturing his skull. Death was instantaneous. Mr. Malthus, accompanied by a friend, was engaged in looking for a cab at the time of
If
his...
ever a soul went straight to hell, it was that poor paralytic.
Yes. At least he's dead and out of it. But think of our young man of the cream tarts. Last night, that lad was as innocent as you and I. This morning, he is a murderer.
Thank heavens we're safely out of it.
Are we?
Oh, no. You're not going to return.
I must.
You are infected with a passion of fear just as poor Malthus was.
Perhaps. Whatever it is. Tonight, once more, we take our places at the table of the Suicide Club.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Goodall. Back again to try your luck?
Yes, indeed.
And Major Hammersmith?
Good evening. You ought to be congratulated, sir, on the matter of Mr. Malthus. Very neatly handled.
Thank you. But I shall miss poor old Malty. He was a man I could talk to.
Yes, your bereavement must weigh heavily upon you.
Indeed it does, sir. But then it's all in the game. And now, you will pardon me, we will sit down to play directly.
The fiend. The foul fiend of hell. Steady, my friend. Once more, let me plead with you. Leave this evil house before it's too late.
You're very tiresome tonight. Oh, here's our young friend of the cream tarts. Good evening, old chap.
Oh, Mr. Goodall, Mr. Hammersmith. Oh, how I wish I'd never brought you to this infamous place. Oh, leave. Leave while your hands are still clean.
But our oath. We could not go back upon our oath.
Well, renounce it. Forget everything. Let them do their worst, but leave. Leave before it's too late. Hey, if you could have heard the old man scream as I pushed him from the parapet. The crunch of his brittle bones as he fluttered to space.
Yes, I perceive the dealing is about to begin. Shall we go in?
Yes. Mr. Goodall, if you have any kindness in your soul, wish the ace of spades for me tonight. There's nothing left for me but to die.
Attention, gentlemen.
3 of hearts.
Queen of spades.
Ace of diamonds.
Times around and neither black ace has come up. We are just 13. This at the table. This 4th round. This will tell the tale.
And I am next to last.
Ace of clubs.
Only 4 more cards.
King of spades.
Oh, pray for me, Mr. Goodall. Pray for me. I have 1 chance in 3. Pray that I get the ace. 6 of diamonds.
And now, I have 1 chance in 2.
My friend, don't.
Silence. Ace of spades.
Very well. That concludes tonight's play, gentlemen.
Oh, Mr. Goodall. I'd give $1 million if I had it for your luck.
I would sell you this card for much less if I could.
Well, Mr. Goodall, my congratulations. I am pleased to have met you, sir, and to have been in the position to do you this trifling service. At least you can't complain of delay.
Yes. And now, before I leave forever, I should like to ask a question. A purely hypothetical question, of course, since I am not a man to go back upon my word.
But you wonder what would happen if you did. If upon the turning of the card you had changed your mind and now wish to live?
Precisely. Suppose my friend, Major Hammersmith, and I elected to ignore our oath. Suppose we began by tearing this place apart.
You wouldn't even get started. The guests themselves are desperate men, but if they did not stop you, the servants, who are even more desperate, would. You would never leave this house alive.
I see. Well, it was purely an academic question.
Naturally.
Very well, then. What are my instructions?
You will proceed along the Strand in the direction of the city, on the left-hand pavement, until you come upon a black carriage with drawn curtains. In this carriage will be the member who has tonight drawn the ace of clubs.
My executioner.
Your collaborator in suicide. You will enter the carriage, and he will continue your instructions. Please have the kindness to obey him in every detail. The authority of the club is vested in his person for the night. I wish you a pleasant walk.
Thank you. But first I must say farewell to my friend Major Hammersmith.
I regret that is strictly against the rules. No farewells. Too disturbing for the still living members. You will leave through this side door to the workroom.
But I must have...
We won't have any trouble now, will we, Mr. Cole?
No. No, of course not.
Your coat? And hat? Your stick.
Thank you.
Again, Mr. Godot. A most pleasant walk.
Death's private door. Why didn't I listen to Geraldine before it was too late?
All right.
What is it? My instructions are to meet the coach in the Strand.
You'll take this coach right now. Get in with you. All right. Take this one away.
Your Highness will pardon the violation of his person.
Geraldine. Oh, my friend.
It was quite necessary under the circumstances. As soon as you turned up the ace of spades, I slipped out of the house to prepare for your escape.
But how did you manage it?
When I realized I could not dissuade you from attending the club tonight, I retained the services of a certain capable and reliable private detective.
But
His secrecy has been bought and paid for. His men are now raiding the suicide club. The members will be removed to your townhouse, where it remains for you to pass judgment upon them.
That I will gladly do, and with the utmost dispatch.
What have they brought us here for? They didn't look like Scotland Yard men to me.
What difference does it make? Perhaps this will be a quicker way out. Gentlemen,
Why, that's my friend, Major Hammersmith.
His Royal Highness, Prince Florizel of Bohemia.
Why, that's Mr. Godot. Always thought there was something odd about those two.
Gentlemen, tonight we have removed you from a house of death to a house of life and hope. Those of you who have come to your present condition through lack of fortune will receive employment and remuneration from my treasury. Those who have been driven to this unnatural solution of their problem by the agonies of guilt must find amnesty from a power greater than mine. Power that eternally promises the forgiveness of sins, no matter how grievous. Only one of you is truly evil, and him I shall deal with myself. Where is he? Where is the president of the club? Colonel Geraldine.
Why, he should be here, Your Highness.
Begging your Highness pardon.
Who's this man, Geraldine?
The chief of the detectives.
Yes? What is it?
Was you referring to the sallow chap with the sword whiskers and the black suit?
Yes, that's the one. The president of the Suicide Club. Where is he?
He aren't here.
Why not?
Well, when we broke into the little office down there at the club, we found him sprawled over the desk with a little empty bottle in his hand. He'd committed suicide.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight brought you The Young Man with the Cream Tarts by Robert Louis Stevenson, adapted for radio by Mr. Robeson, with Paul Frees as Prince Florizel, Bill Johnstone as Colonel Geraldine, and Barton Yarborough as the young man. The special musical score was conceived and conducted by Cy Feuer. Next week,
after you've put in a tough day at the office or leaning over a hot stove, when your four walls seem to be closing in on you, next week when you want to get away from it all, we offer you Escape.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.